Rovos Rail is a 5-star time machine that ambles at a leisurely pace, transporting guests from across the world through the most evocative scenes Africa has to offer.
The moment you set foot on Rovos Rail, it's like you step back into one of those classic adventure and romance novels. It's a beautifully refurbished Edwardian train that's designed to take passengers through some of South Africa's most beautiful and unseen landscapes. I know I can't wait to get lost in the forgotten art of train travel.
These trains visit the Namib, take guests on golfing or birding safaris, host private events, and it's thanks to a moment of inspiration which struck in the mid-80s. Rohan and his wife, Anthea Vos, took up a last-minute invitation on a Magaliesberg train trip. He was entranced, and this world-famous private train is the result.
Hello, sir.
Hello, sir. Welcome.
Thank you.
And this is your royal suit.
Awesome. Thank you very much.
Welcome. If you need anything, please let me know.
Thanks. Appreciate it. Right. Cheers. Oh, man. How beautiful is this room? Gonna hang my jacket up here. The champagne's already chilling on ice in the bucket. This is those sleepers that Rovos Rail is so well known for, the pure luxury. You've got floor-to-ceiling antique finishes, historical prints of special moments in our history all over the walls. It transports you back to that romantic time of the 20th century. The maximization of space is really quite incredible, very, very cleverly done. There's plenty of headroom, as you can see, even though I'm standing on the bed. Lots of space from side to side. You can pretty much do anything you want in this room. There's lots of space for luggage up here for us top-billing presenters. If you overpack, like Jeannie D, if you need 6 cases, 6 big things for all your shoes, there's plenty of space for your shoes up there, Jeannie. If you head over here, a very unique feature to Rovos Rail, something that very few luxury trains around the world allow you to do. You're able to open up the window completely. There's 1, 2, 3, 4 windows. You can open them up, just let that African air in, appreciate all the sights and sounds and smells of our beautiful country. And the cool thing is, they give you one of these little babies. Not the sexiest thing in the world, but we're in the middle of nowhere, so no one cares what you look like. This allows you to stick your head right out that window and not worry about anything flying into your eyes. Plus, if you don't wear one of these, you're not able to do this. I'm the king of the world! Woo! Woo! That's what I'm talking about. And that's not even my favorite part, because if you head over here, and this is why this is called the Royal Suite, we've got a freestanding Victorian bath in a train. Now this is bucket list stuff. I mean, how many of you can say that you've been able to climb into a bath and enjoy the beautiful African landscape while you just chill out and take a nice warm bath? And this is your cue to give me a little time out.
For rail and steam enthusiasts, the private station at Capital Park, Pretoria is a treasure trove. Here, each of the locomotives is named after the Vos children, Bianca, Tiffany, Shaun and Brenda.
Brenda, it's been an incredible journey for the world's most luxurious train.
It's been a 27-year journey, a very exciting one. How Rovos Rail started was Roland, our owner. He wanted to purchase an old railway carriage from South African Railways and convert it into a caravan for his family to travel through South Africa. After a bit of back and forth, what transpired was that he could sell tickets, and then he realized that there was a gap in the market for a vintage luxury train in South Africa. So the fable goes, one night in the bath with a rum and coke, he pondered Rovos Rail and decided to go for it, and 27 years later, here we are.
The dream was tested. In 1994, these trains were just breaking even, but banks were jittery. Rohan came up with a trip from Cape Town to Vic Falls, advertised it in the UK. It was a hit, and he never looked back.
So I've been going through a couple of the journeys that are available with Rovos Rail here. We're on Durban Safari, which is just the 2 nights, but you can do trips up to 15 nights.
The trip like Dar es Salaam is we advertising, pack your bags and go travel through Africa. We're traveling 5 countries, starting with South Africa. On this one, which we are on, Durban Safari, it is about the history of the Boer War. The scenery is beautiful as we're going through the Drakensberg mountain. It's different journeys. You know, we're showing people different things around South Africa.
So there's always something for the guests to do on and off the train.
Yes, we make sure that the guests are always entertained.
One of the highlights as the train descends the escarpment en route to Lions River Station is a visit to the gallery of the famous Ardmore ceramics. They sell through auction houses like Sotheby's, Christie's and exhibit internationally in collections like the Museum of Art and Design in New York. John was reading up on the train's next popular stopover.
Now this is the kind of travel that I can definitely find myself getting used to. The train never goes more than 60 kilometers an hour, so it really is about the journey and not at all about the destination. Because at this kind of leisurely pace, all you can do is sit back, relax, and enjoy the landscape. And the landscape really does come alive when you're going this slowly. You get to appreciate just how beautiful our country is. So we're currently going through KwaZulu-Natal, the Drakensberg Mountains, definitely one of my favorite places in the world. I think it's honestly the most beautiful place in the country. And the cool thing about the train is you get to stop and get off and explore the surrounding countryside. We're headed now to Spionkop, which is home to one of the biggest battles that ever happened in South Africa and one that not many people know about.
The battle was one of 4 fought to relieve the besieged town of Ladysmith from surrounding Boer forces in the year 1900. Our guide, Raymond Heron, is a fellow of the Royal Geographical Society. He described the fight in which the British tried and failed heavily to take this summit with its outlook over the northern and central Drakensberg.
Raymond, this is one of the most beautiful areas that Rovos Rail travels through, but it's sad looking out over these battlefields and thinking how many lives were actually lost there.
Yeah, it's incredible to think that people could be fighting in such amazing beauty. Many battles were fought in this part of South Africa during the South African War of 1899-1902. And it's all set in this incredible beauty.
One of the most fascinating things for me about the Battle of Spionkop is 3 of the world's most iconic leaders were up there, and if any one of them had died, the course of history would have been changed forever.
Well, it's incredible, you know, it's almost beyond belief. But on the top of that Spionkop mountain, on the 24th of January 1900, there were those 3 men. The 3 men we're referring to are firstly Louis Botha. Now, Louis Botha led the Boers in these battles, and he was to go on to become the first Prime Minister of the Union of South Africa. And whilst he was Prime Minister of South Africa, the world went to war for the first time. He joined the British and fought against the Germans in the First World War. Then Winston Churchill. He was carrying messages from Warren's command to the command on the top of the mountain. And, you know, if we'd lost Winston Churchill in this part of the world would have been a different place after the Second World War. And then there's Gandhi. Mahatma Gandhi is on the top of Spionkop as a stretcher bearer. And it was on that top of that mountain on that day that he's reputed to have got his first feelings for passive resistance, when he was heard to say that he could see what the human race was capable of doing to one another, but he needed to know in the name of what.
The same vantage point that gave Spionkop its military value offers spectacular views of this World Heritage Site, home to the largest concentration of battlefields in the Southern Hemisphere. The scenes make for endless photo opportunities and lively debate with other passengers about how history turned here. Jonathan would rejoin the conversation after a private moment.
What a glorious feeling, I'm happy again. I said this is my private time.
Amongst the dining cars on the various trains, some have been resurrected from scrapyards, extracted from shopping centers, and restored or built from sleeper cars. Ours had its own story too.
It's amazing that this kind of fine dining can come out of a tiny little train galley at the back.
I'm impressed every day, and I've been here for almost 5 years now that they do what they do in that space. Your starter is sauteed artichoke with mushroom. Then we also have French cut lamb chops for you this evening with stuffed aubergine. From the cheese, we have mature cheddar cheese for this evening. It's served with strawberries. There's some fruit on the side with delicious bread. And then we have dark chocolate mousse with vanilla macaroon and a cherry for decoration for your dessert this evening.
And each meal prepared with a beautiful South African wine.
Well, yes, as you said, each of our wines is South African. All our wines do come from South African regions, mostly the Stellenbosch region or the Paarl region.
Now, what's captured my imagination as much as the meal is the beautiful Victorian dining car.
Well, the dining cars are all remodeled after a 1912 Victorian-style dining car. So, well, even though this coach is actually from 1975, it has been remodeled, new furnished wood, all of that in a 1912 style. So that kind of puts you back in the time where nothing else existed except the people that are sitting in the dining car and the people serving you. And that is kind of a very nice atmosphere in the dining car itself, with classical music playing all the time, people sitting together, just actually talking to each other. It encourages our guests to mingle with each other, chat to each other. It gets the whole part of us doing no cell phones in any of the public areas, no technology in any of the public areas, takes you back to where you still needed to do that.
Over the 5-star menu, John's thoughts wandered to where he might take his next journey. Botswana, Zambia, and Tanzania by train sounded as irresistible as dinner tasted.
Hello, chefs.
Hi,
Are you all responsible for my delicious meal tonight?
yes, we are.
You are all amazing. It was absolutely delicious.
Welcome.
Sadly, our journey is slowly coming to an end. It's been a trip back to a magical time in history, a time of adventure and romance, of Gatsby and Bond. Speaking of which, martini, shaken, not stirred. The night is still young.
The final great revelation is that when you can't be constantly online, you can survive and actually rather enjoy life.